What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Planning Together. My name is Darian, also known as Darian Plans. And you guys, this is the place. This is the time. This is where we get to come together each week and just figure out how we are organizing our life and our heart. And every week I invite a friend on to share with us how they are doing that. And so I'm so excited for you guys to meet my beautiful friend, Laila. Laila has been on Instagram since the fall of 2018. Once she discovered the planner community, she started sharing planner content in February. She loves using the Happy Planner daily to help her stay productive and create fun content. She was even happy to be a part of the Happy Planner squad during the 2019-2020 term. She has made great friendships along the way, and she just loves the opportunity that she got to just share that with other people. Her latest love of filming and editing has been with Reels, where she gets to just share that with her vibe makers. I don't know if we have any vibe makers in the chat tonight or even on the replay, but that is what she refers to as her followers, because she believes that we all have a light to share through our positive vibes. I'm so excited to talk with her tonight, y'all. Her reels feature planner tips, outfit tips, and even a sprinkle of comedy to match her sense of humor. Can you guys light up those comments and help me welcome the beautiful Laila Basrook to Planning Together?
Hey! Oh my God, that was such a fun intro. I love it.
You deserve it. I find like one of my favorite parts is doing the intros, because it's just like I feel like everyone just
amazing at it. I was just like, oh my God. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. How's your day going?
It's going great. I'm here with, I was just telling like everybody my stories. I'm like, you have such a beautiful like energy and spirit. So I'm like excited. I'm like happy. So coping with that. So happy energy.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. Hey, everybody. Hey, We Pray crew. So excited that you are here. We are going to dive right in. Now, every week we start off with, our game where we just kind of like to get to know who our guest is, some of their favorite planner styles and what they prefer. But y'all, I know that Laila is really into Target. So I got a few like questions that I want to ask her about when it comes to Target. So we're going to ask those too. Now, my first question for you, I don't know if they're ready, but if you had to choose between shopping only at Target or only at Michael's, where would you choose?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Target because sometimes they do have like planning stuff at Target, so I'll cut it at that. Like, I love Target. That's a hard one.
I know. Okay. So if you had to choose between, because I know like I love watching your reels. If you had to choose between a nice cardigan or a nice pullover sweater from Target, what would you choose?
I think a nice cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a cardigan is cute, and plus it's like I live in Arizona, so a cardigan's mostly like our go-to. Like you can't wear a sweater. It's already like it was 80 something just a couple days ago. So cardigan is the way to go.
Oh my goodness. I wish it was 80 something here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now I need to know, are you someone who prefers discs or rings?
I'm a disc lover.
Uh-huh. Now are you someone who likes black ink or blue ink?
Oh, you know what's funny? I love the color blue, but when I use my paper, it's black. So I like black
Okay. Okay. Now, if you had to choose between stickers and washi tape, what would you choose?
stickers. Just because lately they have been coming out with like washi strips in the sticker book, so and you can like maybe cut a sticker to make it look like a washi. I could get real creative with a blade, so I'd say stickers.
Ooh, see, that's literally my reasoning for always picking stickers over washi, is that I can make washi from my stickers. Mm-hmm.
You can make anything with the stickers.
Now, when you plan, do you prefer planning at a desk or in your bed or on the couch?
I think my desk. I just love the setup now, but sometimes I do plan in the bed once in a while. Like the other night, I was like, I'm gonna watch a movie, so I watched A Star Is Born on HBO Max, and like I planned. So I was like, this is relaxing. Normally I just sit at the desk. So normally it's not, but sometimes I mix it up.
Okay, mix it up a little bit. Now, do you prefer multicolor pens or multicolor highlighters?
Ooh. I think highlighters just because I use them like when I draw. Sometimes I'll use them for my doodle. So I like a good highlighter or marker. But yeah, I don't think I do. I'm trying to think. Do I do multicolored pens? I'll keep it simple. I'm always with the black paper mate. I always bring in the markers. Art markers is my way to go.
Okay, okay, we're gonna talk about because I want to know what art markers you use. So you got to let me know.
I
Okay,
don't have them on me. I'll tell you which ones I use.
okay, and then my last question for you. Now, are you someone who has a planner caddy or a planner cart?
Planner cards.
A planner cart. Awesome. And look at all those sticker books, y'all. Can y'all see those sticker books back there? It's like beautiful.
I'm like, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Hey, Julie, how's it going? Okay, so let's get down to it. I just want to know, how did you get started planning? Like what was your introduction to the planner community?
So when I started the whole Instagram page, LB Novelties, um, it was not intended to be a planning page. It was intended to be something else. I was planning on opening up a t-shirt shop. That was my goal. It's like, okay, I'm gonna, I love to draw, so I was drawing and doodling. I'm like figuring out how to get like my drawings onto t-shirts, and in my mindset, I was like business mode. So I'm like, okay, I need to get organized. Where do I need to get like this? And like I had all these lists, and I was with my cousin at Michael's, and I saw like a little like standalone in the middle of the aisle of Michael's, and I'm like, oh, look at this. I'm like, okay, let me check. So it's a happy planner, and I'm like, oh, this is cute. This is cute. I like this. Okay, so I bought it. I'm like, this will help me stay organized. I didn't even like look, like turn around to see the stickers. I just saw the planner. I'm like, okay, this is good. I can get organized. So I started doing that, and the next time I went to Michael's, I saw the stickers. I'm like, oh, they got stickers too. So I got Squad Goals was my first sticker book, and I saw that they had like YouTube videos because I didn't even know they had like I still hadn't processed the Instagram. So I was learning Instagram because that was my
Hmm.
first time actually being on social media. So then I found YouTube videos of people showing how to do stuff, and I was like, so that's why I called it planner rabbit hole. Like I just I didn't even know there was that whole world of planning. But it really did help me to stay productive. Like in the beginning when I was using it, I was like I wasn't really decorating it like I do now. Like I was like more like washy. It was washy everywhere was my thing. And a couple of things. But I was using it like really like okay, staying super productive and getting everything done. And then I found the planner community, and that's where it all happened. That's where I ended up just being here from there.
Oh
It's
my
that
goodness.
planner community that reels you in.
Okay, so Happy Planner is how you started. Now, I also know that you were a part of the Happy Planner squad. What was that like to be a part of that? And kind of how did, like, what was kind of like between you finding the planner community and then now you're on a whole like squad that talks about sharing planner content?
I know it's crazy, but so when I first shared my like planner item that I had made, because I had just been sharing like quotes, I still didn't know what I was doing on my page, and a couple of like my designs. I was like, I'm just gonna share this because I love planning. So I shared a page. I think it was like places to travel the world or something like that, and I started to slowly see. I'm like, oh, you can share this, and people like 8 people liked it. And I was like, oh my god, 8 people liked it! Yay! I only had like 20 followers back then. Um, so then I started watching, like just seeing like everybody doing stuff, and like how I actually kind of fell into like the happy planner like world. I shared a what was it? Oh, an IGTV. So I was like, I want to try out IGTVs, and like I'm always the type of person I'm like, I want to try this. I'll just throw myself in it and see how it goes. So I filmed this video like dressing up as like the nine happy planners because they have a screen release coming up. And I love, you see me now on Reels. Like, I love a good, like, dressing up, having fun. So I was like, I'm going to do this. And a lot of people always ask, like, how did you do that? Like, I think I was comfortable because I only had like 20 followers, mainly family. So it was like, who's going to see this? Who cares? So I filmed it, and I think I did tag the Happy Planner, and they ended up sharing it on their stories. And I remember I was at work, and I was like, oh my God, they shared my IG. I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. My mom's like, what? They're like, what's that? What? I'm like, this is cool. I got featured. And so then I got comfortable. I'm like, okay, so they do like my content. So I started sharing more and more. And eventually I was doing my drawings on my planner. And I learned that they had this thing called the squad. So I was like, and I'm a big promoter of like positive vibes, and just like sharing positive energy. So for me, the reason I signed up for squad was, the philosophy behind the Happy Planner is like positive, energy and vibes, and like just promoting that good just environment. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sign up for this because this will be a great way to have like a platform where I can keep spreading this light. So that's that's why I signed up, was for that reason. And the rest is history. I ended up being on there for a year, and I just enjoyed being a part of the community. So that's my story.
Oh my goodness. Okay, there were so many different things that you said. Rewind. You had said that you originally started your Instagram account to one make t-shirts, right? And then it turned into this planner account. But now when I look at your content, I'm seeing like this
More.
love of fashion combined with your love of planning. How has that like how have you kind of in a way merged those two worlds together? What has that been like?
So what I felt like, last year in January of 2020, I was sharing kind of stuff, but I felt like something was missing. I was like, just there's something missing. There's something missing. And I told my friend Danielle, she's from Mama Designer Plan. I was like, I just feel like I need to take a break, or like I just need like to get energy going, because I do have like moments where I'm like, I need to take a break just to get that going. And I realized, I'm like, I love fashion. I've loved it since I was little. Like I had a purse when I was 4, and like I was like carry it everywhere and put shoes on. But she said I liked to be just in my diaper. I didn't like clothes, but I had my accessories. I was up on my accessories. And then I always remember like, like just putting outfits together. It's like something I love doing. So I decided, I'm like, I'm gonna concentrate and start sharing more lifestyle photos. So that was my goal last year. Like I'm gonna get into it and like just take pictures and like just have fun with it. So that's kind of how I started integrating my lifestyle pics. I'm like, I'm gonna do it for me. And that's why I always tell my vibe makers, like if you're doing something on your page, make sure it makes your heart happy. Cause like if you're doing it to please someone, you're never really happy. So I think that's why you see like it what it is because it's a representation of who I am. But yeah, so I slowly started doing that, and then they introduced reels, and I was like, "What's this? Well, I'm gonna try this out." So I'm like, "Oh, this is fun. I love this." So this has become my new love. It's like sharing who I am through video content too, and like I'm loving like just learning how to edit transitions, and I'm constantly watching videos. I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And sometimes it doesn't work out, but I'm like, I'm determined. I will figure it out, and that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like I'm really loving video content. So I go through just stages in regards to my page, but it's just who I am.
No, I love that because I feel like, I mean, I know I'm sometimes constantly hearing like niche down, niche down, niche down, like when it comes to the world of like branding and content and knowing what you are. But I'm also a firm believer of just being outside the box and just being you and doing what you love. And so, like, and combining the things that, you love. And I just love going to your feed and seeing your videos. Like, they're just, first off, they just bring a smile to my face. And if you guys are not
Aw.
already, you need to be following her on Instagram, because I'm just going to put that right here because her reels and her videos are amazing and will literally brighten your day. So
Aw, thank
I
you.
just love that. And I just love that you're not in a way sticking into a box and you're just like, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing.
I'm like, no, I've always been against like society's norm. Like I've never fit into a certain group, or I'm just me. And even like when I was in grade school and high school, I was never like the popular kids or the not pop. I was just in love with everybody. I'm like, I'm just friendly with everybody. And um yeah, I've always been kind of different, like in regards to like about how things fall into place. Like I literally waited till I was 21 to have my first drink. Like I was very like not a party person, but I did have my fun later on though. I did have
Uh-huh.
fun, but so I wasn't like your typical like like teenager. I was like, I like to be at home and like be with my family, and but now I'm like I like to have
I love it. Okay, so now, of course, we all want to know is what planners are you currently using this year and
fun. Okay.
how many are you using this year?
Okay. So I have it's mainly like Happy Planner, but I do have you can see it back there. It's an arch and olive. I call it my vision board book. Have you heard?
I literally have
I
mine
have it
right.
like in this cute little I'll show you what I got. Oh yay! So I have this one.
Ooh,
Um
that was pretty.
but I have it displayed. I found this at Walmart, like this little acrylic holder. So it's my vision board book, and I want it to be displayed all cute. But this one is like the only thing that I use that's not Happy Planner. But I love this because it lets me be creative, and I have goals in here that I've been putting. Like I'll show you this one, but like I really want to go to a red list, so I just printed out photos, and this is like my vision board book. So
I
I just
love how you have a vision board book.
yeah, because I in January, well, not January, like New Year's time, everybody was doing vision boards, like just the boards, and I did that before, but I felt like sometimes um like this to me feels like it doesn't like stamp time on your vision. Because I've been watching a lot of videos too where like you can't just be like this is when it has to happen. Maybe it might not happen in 2021, but it's a vision that I know I have like in here and eventually will happen, and I could keep adding to it. And like my goal too is to kind of document like if I do accomplish a goal, like how I felt. So kind of like journaling at the same time. That and when I came up with it, like I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I'm always just trying new things.
I love that. I'm so into vision boarding. So like when you said a book, I was like, ooh, tell me more about it. Because I think there's so many different ways that we can go about it. But I love that idea of a book and not putting a timeline on it. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And then of course I have my this is my like Franken planner, but I have like how many do I have? Hold on, let me see. I have one that's like my I call it my everyday, and that's just home life, anything with my child, anything I need to do with work, so just home life. And then I have my LB novelty section, so it's my social media section. And there I have um, I use a horizontal like layout, and I just write out my post. But I switched over because I was trying to do like dashboard, but it was I'm a more of a list maker, so it's easy for me to just use daily pages, and that's
Okay.
where I like write down, okay, I want to do this reel, I want to do that reel, so that's I'm gonna work that side, I think on that side. But this is more like what I check in with at night. I also have like my budget section, and then there's something I do that I love. I can't give you guys a sneak peek because I did film a YouTube video. I'm going to share this at the end of the week, but it's just memory planning. So you just
Ooh.
kind of decorate each day and your monthly, and like with stickers, and just say like, "This is what happened my day." So that's like my Franken planner. But two things that I love doing that make my heart happy are got my gratitude journal. And this one's like a book bound. And this
Okay.
one's actually from 2020, but I redated it because I did this last year, and I filled it the whole year last year, and I've been filling it. So what I do is I just write in one thing that I'm grateful for each day in the year at a glance, and then a lot of journaling. But that's just what I do
Your
in regards to my
handwriting is gorgeous.
my. I'm always like so weird about my handwriting. I'm like, I see other people. I'm like, okay, I could draw, but I can't do that. And then this one's just this one I've been sharing on my Insta. It's just like I call it like my positive affirmations, but also like, I've been getting into like really practicing um, like positive mindset, and especially after this past year, like a lot of stuff happened in my personal life. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need to really get back on that. And I started doing this. When did I start doing this? I'm trying to remember. When did they get me this? I think the beginning of this month. Yeah, because we're like, I'm like, it's February. Oh, it was like a week before February because I think it was early. But I started doing this, and like I've been doing it every night. And I sit and watch YouTube videos that really like just promote like positive affirmations. And so I just come in and journal and write a positive affirmation, and it really does help a lot for me. It's in my mind. So
Oh
that's
my goodness.
everything in regards to planning.
Okay, so now I'm super okay, so there's four. But one thing I love about what you were saying as you were talking through your planners is that you have tools in place to kind of enforce kind of like what you're going for. Like you have a vision, like a whole book for your vision. You have a whole
Hmm.
gratitude, and I'm just like
Yeah.
that. Of course, like and then like just with your like affirmations, and I just think that's so wonderful. Like, what tools do we all have in place or need to have in place to make sure that we are really focusing on like, our mindset and our like, yeah, we have like the things that help us get through our day, but what about the things that are helping us like essentially like organize our heart? So I love that. I really like that vision book. I'm like, I might have to try that. I might have to try
For
that.
sure, it's so much fun because like I just went and printed pictures that I found on Pinterest. I'm like, okay, this is like what I'm envisioning, and I've been able to accomplish a couple of things in it. And a lot of people are like, can you show a flip through? I'm like, I'll show a flip through once I kind of like filled it a little bit more, and I feel like it's ready to be shown. But I'm having fun with it. I just like sit there, once in a while and be like, okay, I'm gonna add this to it. But um, again, this is because it's hard for me because I'm the most patient person when it comes to seeing like results. Like I could be patient with like, okay, put your work in and stuff, but then I'm like, all right, so where's the results? What's happening? Where are we at? And this year has taught me to just allow God's timing to
Mhm.
be the thing. And so that's why I'm like, I'm just gonna chill, watch my and like the one video that I love watching Steve Harvey on YouTube, and I've been thinking about my choice. Um, it's like his motivated channel, but like he just like has like these motivational like little clips, and I'm like, man, like it hits like exactly what you need to hear. I'm like, exactly what I need to hear today. So that's been helping me a lot. I definitely recommend watching those. Those are really good.
Yes. Okay. I want to know in the comments, do you guys have anything or people or podcasts that you like listening to that just motivate you or encouragement? Any books? I always love using this space as a place for us to like learn and grow from each other. So she recommended Steve Harvey. I'm going to recommend the Quote of the Day podcast.
Okay.
It's literally a podcast, and it's literally you get a quote each day. And it's literally from all these different people's like, and he'll pull them from like commencement speeches, from TED Talks, from people's books,
Love
from
those.
people just giving speeches. And it's literally one of the most encouraging things, like, to hear just and it's all about like encouraging you to keep going. It's just literally a quote a day, and it can be 5 minutes, sometimes they're 10 minutes, but it's really nice, and it's literally one of my favorite podcasts.
I'll have to go watch that because or listen to that because there's this channel called Be Inspired on YouTube, and they also do that where they combine people's like speeches with Washington, and I was like, oh man, you just sit there and listen to it, and like they'll pull from different people's speeches and kind of put it together into one video, and you're just like by the end you're just like, I'm pumped, let's do it. Sometimes you
Mhm.
just need that, like even though you hear it from a relative. I have family that's really super supportive, but sometimes it's good to just sit there and like watch a video because it's kind of like a reminder. You're like, okay, I could do this. I got this. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also just something about listening to someone else, like who has been through what you've been through, and to
Yeah.
see how they overcome it, and kind of gives you like, okay, I can also overcome this thing too.
Right.
And so it's just really nice. Like I think you mentioned what Denzel's Washington's commencement speech. I don't know
Yeah.
if you have seen the one that he talks about like failing forward. And I don't know if you've heard that, but it's one of my favorite. I like anytime I'm having a bad day, I'm like, okay, I need to go watch this commencement speech because it's just so encouraging. And so
Yes. Totally.
I love that. Replay crew, I also want to know any encouragement. Make sure you put that in the comments as well. But everyone is loving your vision notebook. So yes, yes, yes. I'm totally gonna have to try it. Like I'm like, ooh, this gives me an excuse to buy another journal. So I'm
Yeah,
really excited.
I love bullet journals. Like they're I feel like it's like that freedom of being creative and just not having like any lines. And that's why I like that one that I'm using that they sent me because like there's only a couple of like boxes, there's no prompts. So it's like that freedom of allowing it to be what you need it to be. So I think sometimes if
Mhm.
you see a lot of prompts and stuff, it kind of can get overwhelming. You're like, oh, so just have fun, go free on the vision board book.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Misty had suggested my favorite podcast is On Purpose by Jay Shetty. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
I've watched a
Um,
couple of the videos.
I'm totally gonna have to check it out. So I want to know kind of okay, I'm gonna rewind before I even go there. I know you like I can ask you all these questions about Happy Planner because I know of Happy Planner, but I'm not knowing. So if you had to pick your top three all-time favorite Happy Planner collections in order from 3, 2, 1, what would they be?
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm like, ooh. Um, okay, so recently they came out with, like their spring stuff, spring release. I love their colorful leopard collection because it's like neutral with color, and I think that's good because I love color, and I know there's people that love neutral, so I think it's like a good in between. And I love the quotes and like just like the stickers and the photo, everything that came in that collection. I'm like, yes. So I'm like, I love. Ooh, I have to think of collections. I think anything squad goals or squad life or anything that they come out that has those cute little girls, I'm down. I'm down for anything. It could be some. Hopefully they bring out something new, but anything with like the little girls, I don't know. I just like I love them. They're so cute. And okay, yes, colorful leopard spring.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think because I love my one favorite sticker book, but it's not a collection. But they kind of came out with something like it, like in one of their like Be Happy boxes. Oh, it's not even on this top section. It's Year to Shine. I just love the blue, so kind of like the indigo they came out with, but that Year to Shine man just has my heart. That's my favorite sticker book.
Okay, 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 okay. So we know. Now, my question for you is what are your must-have planner supplies? Like when you sit down to plan your week out, what are the things that you are pulling out?
All right, so first off, this is my EK Tools retractable like blade. Let me just show, I'm trying to see where.
It's a
Okay, there we
blade?
go. Yeah, so like when you do that, oh, there we go. And this was actually something I saw Desiree from Happy to Plan share on her YouTube channel. I think maybe 2 years ago, or almost 2 years I've had this, but I was like, oh, I need that because like I'm so clumsy and I'm always like, I almost stab myself every time I had the regular X-Acto knife. So this thing is like the best. It has a cushion. I'm like, you
It
get in
like
and
is
out, and
a blade, but it's a pen at the same time. Like it feels like a pen,
yeah.
it looks like.
Yeah, so this is okay. So this is hard to get because I bet you're gonna get asked. But like this, I got on Amazon. So you have to look under EK Tools retractable knife. Sometimes they have it in stuff, and sometimes they don't. So if you, I don't know if you could put like a little reminder on
Blade
Amazon.
tools,
But yeah,
retractable
EK
knife.
Tools retractable knife.
I'm
Must have.
ready. Yeah.
That's my one thing. I'm like, if I had to just pick one planner tool, this would be the one I like. Because you could cut anything with that. Like that's sticker surgery in the making.
Sticker
Of course,
surgery
like
in
a
the making.
pair of scissors. This one's just like whiskers. I don't know, just like something where I could
Okay.
cut. I just like to cut my stickers like from the edges. And then last is a pair of tweezers, and I've been getting questions on this on my on my Instagram, but it's literally Revlon Beauty tweezers. I don't use anything fancy when it comes to my tweezers. So
Those are the
these are my
best for picking up stickers.
right because I've tried, the ones that are like really fancy looking, like those craft ones that are angled. I cannot do that, and I'll see some other planners, and they're just like magic. They're just placing them all, and I'm like, I can't. I don't know if it's because I'm a lefty or what's going on, but I need these. Keep it easy for me.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you guys. Anytime I see something cool, I'm so dramatic because I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's how I was when I first saw it on her. But I was like, oh, and so I went quick and got that on Amazon.
I'm like, after we get off here, I'm going to look that up. PK
EK Tools.
retractable. Pre-K. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. And when I find it, y'all, I'll put the link in the thing below. Um, okay, so now how do you go about because your spreads are so cool. Like
Oh,
when you're
thank
like
you.
compiling them. So how do you go about like creating your spreads? Do you start with the book? Do you start with a color scheme? Kind of what's your thought process when you go to like plan your week out?
So lately, well, probably like maybe close to you. I've been really enjoying mixing themes. I love to I'm like, let me see if this is gonna. I could pull this off. I'm more like I like to experiment and have fun. I don't know, I'm so jumpy.
Ooh.
So I'll pick one sticker book and I'm like, and I'll go and pick something else. I'm like, I think I can make these patterns or like, like prints or anything work. I always tell my vibe makers, like the one thing that I think is the easiest if you want to combine different things is just as long as they have kind of like the same family color grouping, like I think that's when you could pull it off. Because you could pull like polka dots with like a leopard with as long as they're in the same group, I think you
Mhm.
can make it. So that's
Okay.
my thing.
Okay.
Mixing things. I love it. I love having fun. I filmed one this weekend, or this past weekend, I'm gonna put up for my April monthly, and it's mixing two fun things where I'm like And I always go in like when I start, I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna wing it. And then it ends up I'm like, okay, we pulled it off.
Okay. So now for someone new to like maybe, if someone's like, okay, when they get done watching this, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to Michael's and I'm gonna buy a happy planner and some sticker books. Like what advice would you give them so they're not necessarily overwhelmed with going to pick out
Yeah,
their planner in that process? Hey
I know
Stephanie.
it could get hard when you have like all those stickers. I think the one thing is make sure it's functional. I always tell people like, don't just go for it cute. Make sure like when you look inside the sticker book that there's like functional sticker books that say like to do or have little bullet points or checklists. And lately a lot of their sticker books are coming out that they have that like it has cute stickers and there's still functionality in it. So that's what I always try to look at. I'm like, okay, can I use this? I know I want it to be cute, but will it be what it's intended for is to help me plan. Because I think we sometimes forget that it's supposed to help us plan. We get so
Yeah.
into like making it look cute, but my thing too is like what's easiest is like if you're starting and you want to kind of experiment, like maybe start out with like pick one sticker book that has like cute like florals or designs, and then pick something like that has like a colorful box sticker book is like always gonna be the one I'm always gonna tell everybody. You can make anything with this because I try to show people like you can write in this and color it, and if you want to make it custom to match something like that's when markers like really can make a little difference with these.
Which book is
And
that?
just here's my camera. The colorful boxes, and they still have this one. This one's like when I first
Okay.
started buying sticker books. It's just like we call it the OG colorful box one. But that one has color boxes in pretty much every color you could think of, and then you throw like a leopard print on top. It already looks like you went a little bit more extra on it. So I think make sure you keep it functional. Like it's the most important thing, not just cute, functional.
Yes. Okay. So TK, yep, get one functional and one decorative. Yes, I'm with it. Okay, so I'm kind of curious. Do you know how many sticker books you
Um, a lot probably. I think each of these I can fit like these aren't all the way full, but they're like what did I say, 27? There's two, there's a lot. Probably maybe 200, I think. If you think like 20 in each one, let's see. Eight, so that's 160, and I have two up there. Oh, and I have my phone. Yeah, probably over 200. I
have?
don't know.
200 sticker books.
Maybe.
Listen, this is the safe place to say that and embrace that and know that you are loved and supported. I
Luckily,
listen.
a majority of them were sent to me, so I'm like, and the rest I like bust out my coupons. So I love my
Yeah,
coupons.
listen, those coupon codes with those happy planner books are wonderful. And it's okay because I've seen on Instagram people who, have over like 300,
A
like
lot.
they
They're
literally have
probably yeah,
every, mm-hmm,
yeah. I don't really like advertise it. I just put them like in like what I categories that I think are gonna work for me. But so like I'll have my florals over there, and then I have colorful ones, and this is just like a new spring. So I put the new spring ones next to me, but and then Disney. But I just put them in like categories versus like alphabetizing them. I think that'll be a lot for me.
ooh, I feel you on that. I'm definitely more of a categorical organizer than I am an alphabetical organizer. Is that a thing? I feel like it's a thing.
Probably. Like my
It's
when she
totally
does the alphabet one, I'm like, how do you keep track like when you pull it out and then put it back like to know and then I'm like that I'm like I just want to make sure it's in the same. But I know where everything is. That's the thing. Like I know where everything is. It's just in its categories.
mhm. At the end of the day, as long as it works for you and you know where everything is, that's all that matters when it comes to organization. That's my opinion. Okay, Stephanie says she doesn't like attaching numbers to things.
Okay.
Um,
Because I'm like, now that I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh wait, okay. Because like I think last time I counted it was like 120, but that was like last spring, and then all these new ones have come out, and it is what
yes.
it is.
And then Missy said, don't be like me and buy everything.
Yeah, I learned that because I would buy like every sticker book when I first started, like because I just wanted to have every single one in the collection. And sometimes I'm like, okay, well I use it, I get it's like cute, but is it something I'm gonna use? Like I don't want to collect it to collect it. I want to like make sure I'm using it. So that's why I like to
Mhm.
bring in like have the new one and then I'll bring in an old one. I'm like, okay, let's get some of these ones out. Let's see what we can do with it. So mixing both.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Hey, Jocelyn. Hey, Shante. Oh my goodness. She said, yes, that's how many bolts it's out. I bet it is. I bet it is. Yes. Okay. So I'm super curious. What was your first planner? Like, was before Happy Planner, were you ever into planning before that?
Oh yeah, like I since I was like in high school when they would give us like your like student planners in high
Mhm.
school. Oh my God, I loved it. I love stationery. I mean, when I was younger, like what 7, I remember like I would get birthday money and like I was born in California, so I lived in California at the time, and my mom would drive me to the is it San Rio, like the Hello Kitty store. I just call it the Hello Kitty store, and I'm gonna go get my Hello Kitty stuff, and I would get my Hello Kitty, pens and the little like remember the pen case that had two sides, so like one side would snap open, you would put your pen, if you flipped it over, and it was like cushion. I don't know if anybody, but that was my thing back then. And it had a sharpener on the edge. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I
Oh, I know
really
what you're talking about. The pencil cases with the pencil like
yes,
sharpener inside of it. You can tell me anything. You could not tell me that I was not anyone, like, because my pencil case had
yes,
a sharpener in it, and I was able to dump it out and like keep up. I know
yes,
exactly what you're talking about. Mhm.
yeah. And I remember having I think in yeah, like 8th grade I had the five is it the 5 star or the meat or whatever. Remember the like it was like teal and had Velcro and then but that one was a like a binder ring planner, I think.
Mhm.
But it was like those old school planners. Like I've had a planner every phase of my life. Like when I was like adult life, I think I just would buy some from like like Target, like those simple like spiral ones, or but like the ones that are like really like thin like this. But
Uh-huh.
I made it work, and then I found stickers and.
Yeah, here we are now. Okay, so speaking of phases of life, have you found that has your planner style changed throughout different phases of your life?
Yeah, I yes, it has. When I first started with all washi because that's what I saw people. I'm like all washi. I'm like okay, and I was still trying to figure out who. Like I think when people buy planners, they see other people like okay, this is what they do in the planner community. But I think it takes you a couple months to find who you really are in regards to like planning style. So I think it was maybe like March, April of 2019 when I started. I love to draw, so I was like, I'm just gonna draw. I want to draw on my planner, and I had journaling stickers, which are basically like they're just blank stickers. And I remember buying the sticker book, thinking, what can I do with this? What can I make happen with this? So it's just a sticker that's blank, but you could put art markers on this, and it won't bleed through onto your planner. Because if you were to go with an art marker on your planner, it'll bleed. So
Hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna try this out, and I think my first drawing was like the Little Mermaid, and that one got like 400 likes, and I was like, oh, people like it, and so I started drawing in my planner, and that was my thing, and everybody knew me for like drawing my planner. But then it got a lot to like be doing YouTube videos and like because it would be like 3 hour process of drawing and filming and everything. So I kind of cut back on drawing, and now I'm coming back. I'm coming back with the drawing. That was that fun reel I put up. Put it up. Just saying like I'm coming back for drawing. I just will
Mhm.
probably be filming it because I think that's what was taken away from me enjoying it was like sitting under the lights and the camera and doing all this. Sometimes I might do like a reel with it, and sometimes I'll just show you it without the whole behind the scenes process.
Yes. Okay, so people were real quick, we're gonna rewind. The binder you were talking about, the Trapper Keeper.
Trapper
So,
Keeper, yes.
okay, now we had okay, now I don't know if some of y'all remember, like maybe like was it last year? I remember I had Posh Plans on, and we were talking about Trapper Keepers. Now,
Uh-huh.
apparently the Trapper Keeper she was talking about, I don't remember because it was like blue, and I don't remember ever
What?
having a Trapper Keeper that was blue. But I remember a 5-star Trapper Keeper, y'all. It was like a
Yes.
binder, and it was like zipper, and then like you opened it,
Oh,
a
yeah.
filing system inside
I
it.
think I had that one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
yes.
I just need to know. Am I not? Do y'all know what Trapper Keeper I'm talking about? I'm not talking about the blue one.
You're
The
talking
blue
about the
one.
5 star, and I think the Trapper Keeper was, is it Meat or Med? I don't know how you pronounce it. I think they're two brands, right? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I just remember I love the Velcro sound. Opening
Yes.
it, and you would have no plans going on like when you were a kid, but you're like, I still need to put in something. Like something has to happen.
Yes. Okay. So, okay. Everyone is like, yes, yes. Okay. And there was apparently a Cricker Sitters too with like cute animals. Like, I guess in addition to oh, they were talking about the Lisa Frank store in the Cineria.
Lisa Frank, yeah, I had Lisa Frank too. Good time.
Oh my goodness. See, y'all be coming through. Y'all be helping us out. I love it. I love it. I love it. I definitely grew up on Lisa Frank was like my favorite. Love Lisa Frank.
Yeah,
Love her. Okay, so I also would love to know kind of what are some goals that you are currently working on?
So in regards, well, I'm happy I have a job now. So that's like my personal life needed to get regulated and everything. And now that I have a routine, I feel like I could like breathe and get kind of that creative flow going again. 'Cause I know I've been sharing content, but like I really, really want to challenge myself to get, because I have like these video Instagram, like video editors and videographers on Instagram that I'm following, and I'm like, dude, I need to get to that level. Like, I love to challenge myself like that. I'm like, I want to learn how to do this. So my goal is really to like get really good at like my reels and going outside too, because I'm kind of tired of being like inside. I'm like, there's only so much I could get creative in this space. Like, I think I've done everything possible. It's been a year of trying to be creative, and it's crazy how creative we've all gotten, like just being at home and
Mhm.
still being able to like produce content. But I do want to like travel. My main big goal I see in the future is probably doing like something like travel vlogs and filming like the process of going out and learning about different cultures and eating. 'Cause I like to eat, so that's kind of like my big main goal in the future.
Okay.
See what happens.
I love that. I love that. I'm always curious, like, well, what people are working towards. And I love that you are just like, when it comes to filming and to see that go, like, just to see your evolution and like, you got YouTube and like, okay, now I'm gonna really nail down these reels and figure that out and work on that. And I love your reels. They're so much fun. And
Oh, thank you so much.
I think I've said that
I would
maybe
have
like,
fun filming. No, I do have fun filming them, and it's funny because sometimes people are like, how do you come up with the ideas? I'm like, I just sitting like that one that I did with the Celine Dion. I was on a live with Danielle. We were doing our live with Sparkle and Shine, and I was sitting there and like we were talking about something like, wouldn't it be funny like? And I suggested it. I'm like, hey, you guys can do this reel, but nobody did it. And I'm like, I'm taking it. It's mine now. But I was just thinking of the song. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny like you're trying to remember where a sticker is in a certain sticker book. It's like sometimes you're like, where can I find rainbows? And like it's all coming back to you, the sticker books. I mean, someone could still do that one. That'd be a funny one to see, but it's just a song will make me think of it. I could be sitting and like I'll be like, oh, like it just pops in my head. So I've had a couple that I want to do. I just need to figure out like the logistics of how to film it because I'm doing it on my own. I wish I had like an extra person to like help me film them. That's the only thing that kind of holds me back is like just having that one person to help you do the transitions. And luckily, my dad helps me, but I mean, he could only help me on the weekends and off. So that's the
oh,
goal is to get back on that and like really challenge myself.
I wish my dad would be like, what you got me doing? Like my dad would be like,
I think
girl,
my dad was like that in the beginning, like, and now he's like into excited. Like I'm like, look, if you do this, and I'm like showing him like, if we do this, and he's like, okay, we'll do it. And then I'll be like, look how many likes it got, and he's all super excited.
oh, I love that. I love that. That's so supportive.
Yeah. Oh no, my family's super supportive.
Yes.
They were like surprised in the beginning because I didn't say this, but like yeah, I was like very anti social media. Like when I started, like I was like, don't put my picture out anybody. I don't want to be on social media. And then look at me now, and it makes me laugh. But they were in the beginning, they were like, okay, she's gonna do this. But my brother always says like, I was surprised you were gonna do it, but like I know you, and like when you put your mind to something, you will make it happen. So I'm like, thank you.
Hmm. I love that. And I mean, you guys, we're coming to the point. It's so crazy. Time goes by so fast. But if you have any questions that you would like to ask Laila, definitely put them in the comments or even replay crew, leave them in the comments below as well. Because I definitely want to make sure we get your questions answered as well. But it's just so funny to hear you say that, like that you were like, I'm totally not putting my face on social media. And here you are doing these
I love.
amazing.
I know. I was telling you, like, this is my first YouTube live. I'm like, okay, it's the first for everything.
I love that. And literally just Starkey literally said it best. She was like, Laila just keeps one upping herself every day.
Oh, thanks, Vicky.
Hashtag goals. And I love that. How do you figure out what one thing, like, one thing to work on? Like, how did you, come to that place where it's like, okay, I'm choosing this focus on just this one thing and I'm going to just go with it.
I I think the one thing I always suggest to people, like when you're setting your goals, make sure you're passionate about it, because if you're not passionate about it, you're just gonna be like, okay, I'll get to it, or like
Mm-hmm.
not, I don't know how to get passionate, but half blanket. I think it's important to be passionate, and like when I get passionate about something, like I will sit up and, or I mean, stay up and like yesterday I watched a couple of videos of just like how to use your phone to like film and what settings to put it. It's like all that behind the scenes that sometimes maybe people don't realize. Like, okay, you need to learn these things so that you can be the best for yourself. Because I'm not trying to like be at someone's level I want to be. I'm happy with what I'm producing. So be passionate about what you pick to do. But yeah, lately that's just what I'm loving to do is video content. And I don't know what I'll be loving next year, but that's my jam right now.
Okay, y'all, did y'all just hear what she said? She said that's her jam right now. I know I'm not the only one who says that. I say that all the time. Like, this is my jam.
My
Like,
jam.
this is my jam. People are just like, Darian. And I'm just like, so thank you. Come on, yes. But
Yes,
I just,
man.
you said two things: be passionate about what you're doing, and then you also just said being the best at your level. Like, and I think so many times it's so easy to think that I have to do it like such and such or get to this level, but like, what does my best look like for me? And so
Yeah.
yes, that's so good. Okay, see, my mom's here. She says, Darian, you're right. Your dad always asks me, what's Darian got you doing? Because my mom's the one who will hold the camera for me, take the photo for me. Like,
Aw, I
yes.
love it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, so do you believe this is always a fun question that I always like asking people, but do you believe in planner peace? Do you believe that's a thing?
I always see people say I'm like at planner piece because I finally picked what I want. And I think for me, I'm always trying to remind people like, yes, it's nice to kind of have like, okay, I have a system, but like make sure it's working for you, because if you're doing it like, I don't want, I feel like sometimes people like are like, okay, I have planner piece, I can share like this is what I got, but like, is it making you happy at the end of the day? Like, make it work for you. Like, if you like to plan in the morning, I think that's where you've got to figure out planner piece. Then plan in the morning. If you're like in between the days, then like plan in the day. I'm more like I come and check in at night. That's when I find my planner piece. Come and check in at night. I'm like, how am I doing? Okay, and I do have like my little list to do, but I think it's more figuring out, are you using it the best way possible to get you to from point A to point B? Because that's what you bought the planner for in the first place. And I think sometimes, especially with social media, like you'll see, oh, this person has all these planners and they have it all set, and why am I not? Like, don't look at that person. Are you happy with what you got in front of you? I think that's planner piece, finding
Oh,
your
I
happy
love
spot.
that. And I love how you talked about when you're planning and how that also plays into your piece.
Factors in there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. I haven't heard anyone mention that, like the aspect of like, I realize that I like at nighttime, like, that's my like,
Mm-hmm.
routine with it. And so I like that. I believe I'm gonna make sure, is it Amy? Had asked, how do you stay motivated and consistent with planning?
Oh man, sometimes I honestly like I think what it factored into me getting back into feeling passionate again on planning. But sometimes I will be off the like where I'm like just especially with like nothing going on this past year, you're just like I think it helped me to have this. So like sometimes I might not be using my Franken planner, but if I'm at least using my gratitude journal and my positive affirmations journal, I think that's already like I'm being motivated and consistent with planning, because I think people get like stressed out. I used to be like that. I'm like, well, I don't really have much filled in my planner, so I guess I'm not using it to the best of my ability. But it's more of making sure you're checking off what makes you happy, what you need to get done. It doesn't have to be a full planner. My planner is never looking full. I know it will never. I just have separate categories because it works for me. I don't like it makes me anxious when there's a lot of writing. So I like separate categories. I think the most important thing is that it's a tool that's helping me to find Laila, like be happy Laila, like am I getting the best out of it? So if it's not working out with one system, I always tell people switch it out. Like if it's not working that week, it's okay. Especially with discount, like you can switch it out, try a different layout. Um, even take a break if you need to. Take a break, and then maybe when you get back, you're like, oh yeah, I remember why I love this. So I think just acknowledging like what it is that's kind of like in here. I think sometimes we think too much with our mind. Think with your heart.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
I love planning because it makes me happy. But I do it my way. It might not be like everybody else, but I think that's the most important thing is do it your way and be happy doing it.
Okay. Oh, that's so good. Okay, now I want to get a little bit geeky before we head out. But do you have like a favorite pen and like that you like using when it comes to your planners, your favorite like writing utensils that when it comes to your planners, these are your go-tos?
I just have been sticking to my what is this like my Papermate medium. I
The
was
paper.
using the Sharpie, yeah, the Sharpie. I think it was like S something S.8 before, but I just kind of like a little bit more thickness, like and like I don't know. This works for me. I'm a lefty. It makes me happy. But and then also whiteout tape runner, and that's pretty much what I use. I don't do like markers or highlighters. Sometimes I will like bring in a highlighter if needed, but I just write it in. And my favorite thing to do, and it's just because I like to check things off. I like to draw in a little box next to whatever I write in, and then I just come in and check it off. And I just do that at night. I'm like, okay, I did that. I checked it off.
Oh, I love that.
How about
Okay.
you?
Okay. And I just okay, the paper and I love that you like thick nib pens just like me. So I can totally relate to that. Amy had also asked, what's one routine that you can't miss every day?
Gratitude journal. Um, there was a
Mm,
point, and it's just because it's a rough year. I just kind of like took a couple days where I was not touching my planners. I was like, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not in a happy place. And it's funny because I was watching this one video, and what was it they said? Oh, it again was Steve Harvey, and he was just saying like gratitude erases negativity because when you fill your mind with gratitude, you can't like let that negativity come in. And I'm like, okay, Steve. So I brought my gratitude journal out, and like I still caught up with everything because I can remember like okay, this it was only 2 or 3 days, but I went back in and filled it, and like by the third day that I filled it, like I just felt so happy. I was like, okay, Laila, you cannot stop doing this. Everything else could take a break, but gratitude journal is a plus. I think it really does remind you, you know what, you have a lot to be grateful for.
yeah, gratitude. I mean, seriously, I know we hear this all the time, but gratitude really does change everything. And I feel like
My opinion.
it just takes your focus from thinking about all the things that you don't have and to really focus on
Mm-hmm.
what you do have. And
Yeah.
it's a big mindset shift. And I completely agree with you on that. My last question for you tonight before we head out is kind of, well, I'm probably going to ask you two, but I'll ask you this one. What has this last year taught you, and how are you incorporating that into your planning?
I really learned like my inner strength because I thought I was a strong. I always thought I was a strong person because I've had like things happen in my personal life that have tested me. But this year, man, I was like, all right, I really have to like be strong. And also, I think what I'm learning right now, and I've been incorporating into my planning and just like with like my gratitude journal and my positive affirmation journal, it was I feel like the lesson that I learned, because I feel like everybody learned something this past year, um, was just to like, because I like to have not like control every little detail, but I like to have control of what's going on in my life, and having it be turned upside down really made me like be like, okay, I'm just releasing control. I don't know what's
Mhm.
gonna happen, but I'm trusting you, God. I know you got me. I know you got me. And this past few weeks, he's really like, it's like, I was just telling my mom, like, it's so funny because like I sat and like the whole time I've been like tested and like, man, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It's like testing me. And then it was like one day he put everything like into place, and I'm just like, okay, I see what you meant. It was you testing me to see if I really had faith. And I just feel like my faith is stronger now than I mean I've always been pretty strong with my faith, but like I think that's what I came out of this year. So now I feel
Oh,
like a sense of relief because I don't feel like I don't know what the heck's happening tomorrow, but like I'm like oh, he got me. I don't have to worry about it. I'm good. So that's what
yeah.
I think what you saying.
Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing that with us. And where can everyone keep up with what you're doing on Instagram and YouTube?
LB Novelties on Instagram, and then it's LB Novelties, but it's spelled capital LB space novel dash T's. There we go. She had it already on YouTube. And I'll finally be active because I have been kind of falling off the bandwagon with YouTube, but I was trying to get everything situated in life. So there'll be
Listen,
some videos coming up this week.
I'm with you. I feel you on that. I know that there are just seasons. I know these past couple weeks have been crazy for me too. So, just I think we just jump right back in when, we have the time to do it. I can totally relate to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Always on stories every day on Instagram, so that's where you can always find me is on stories.
Yes, I love that. And yes, Amy, I seen where you at. This will still be here for you afterwards. So it will be saved for us to revisit all the goodness. But thank you so much for joining me here tonight. It was just such a pleasure to sit down and chat with you and to also meet another fellow Target lover and planner lover at the same time. Was there anything left that you wanted to share with us before we head out?
I just want to say thank you for having me because like it was so much fun. I always like doing this because like I always end up with like a happy like vibe afterwards. So I appreciate you having me on, and just I always tell my vibe makers just make sure you do things that make you happy, and I always end with peace of mind. That's my thing, sending peace of mind.
Sending peace and love. Well, thank you so much for joining me, you guys. And I will catch you guys here next week on Tuesday at 8 p.m. For Planning Together Live again. But thank you again for joining me, and I will see you guys next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.